Holy crap, that's such a hit.
So they released their top 10 offenses. Colorado's number 8.
This moment in sports history will be remembered as one of the better fights, man. Like,
Put the cherry on top, they played Austria today. Guess the score of that game? 32
What
to
was it?
25 to not medal for bronze. Hello and welcome to episode 13 of Bros in the Bleachers podcast. We are your hosts. I'm Drew.
And I'm Josh.
And we got an action-packed show. Football is back. But before we get out, we got to clap it up one more time. New subs, up to 43 subs. Pumped up. Let's go. Join the Bleachers. Everybody go hit subscribe.
Absolutely.
Go hit it right now. I wanted to
Build
have
more
one quick
seats.
special. Yeah, we gotta fill this bad boy up, baby. One special shout out to one subscriber, BG Chili left a very nice comment. So he enjoys our video. So I just wanted to shout him out, and I hope you're enjoying the podcast if you are. So thank you.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, we got a lot to go over. So on this day in sports history, for me, Nolan Ryan strikes out his 4,500 batter in 1987.
El Caballo.
You think anybody's gonna touch that in the current MLB day?
I don't know, maybe Verlander like one Tommy John surgery ago. If probably not though. I don't think anybody will even get close to that.
I probably should have looked up who is career leader in strikeouts. I would
Oh yeah.
hope Nolan is. Oh yeah, Nolan Ryan has 5,700, and then Randy Johnson is a distant like 900 away.
Oh yeah. He's
So
goat.
safe to say that that record's not going to get touched with all these pitch limits and pitch counts that these managers have on their on these young kids in the majors. So
No. There's no
yeah.
way. In the Velo era, yeah. No, I don't
But
think so. Yeah, Justin Verlander's 10th on the list. So yeah, he's the only really active guy that would attempt to. Maybe if they can
it,
put some like what is it? I don't know. Give him some what is it? Rookie of the year. Just let him put it in the cast for like a year and then see if he can just whip fire a couple 106ers. Just put him in as a closer. Let him extend his career by like 10 years.
right? I mean, yeah, he's the only workhorse I can think of, and then there's maybe a couple big guys like Nathan Eovaldi, but he's not gonna really be able to catch up as far as Max Scherzer is another fellow workhorse, kind of on the
Yeah.
twilight of his career. One of my favorite pitchers. Yeah, not too many. Clayton, Zach Greinke, not a whole lot to say for
No,
current
yeah.
pitchers, but ain't nobody touching that record.
Oh no.
But what did you have in the today, Josh?
So mine, we're throwing it all the way back. We're sticking it with the football theme all the way to 2002 when the Houston Texans played their first regular season game against their opponent, the Dallas
Oh,
Cowboys. And guess what? The Texans would end up winning in their debut 19-10. And I put a little note here just because, Jake's not here. So I got to throw it in while I can. Imagine your team losing to the Texans like at all because the Eagles are 6-0 against the Texans all time. So couldn't be my team. But yeah, notable. I have the notable stats here. Derek Carr was the Houston quarterback. He went 10 for 22, 145 yards, 2 TDs, and an interception. So not much of a birder. And then Quincy Carter was the Dallas quarterback who he went 13 for 30, 131 yards, and an interception. So it wasn't really much of a game, it seems like.
imagine losing to a team who never won a football game before.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, I put here that the Houston Texans would go on to have a 4-12 season. They would finish last in the division, and the Cowboys would also finish last in the division in 2002 with a 5-11 record. Not sorry, Jake.
And on top of that, the Texans losing their thought to be franchise quarterback at the time, getting just eviscerated in the pocket because they had nobody to protect him.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't consciously remember expansion drafts for the NFL because I'm just not that old. But I can't imagine what what like a cobbled together expansion O line would look like for, for a team.
When does your NFL knowledge start at? What would you say?
I mean, I don't know, probably like
Like, when did you start watching
Eagle
NFL? Yeah,
focused
that's
was
fine.
like easily like 4 and 5. NFL like fully like maybe 2013. Like I would tangentially pay attention to other teams and I would watch all the games, but I really wasn't like full in on like remembering guys' names, like paying attention to stats, all that kind of stuff.
My extent goes up to like 2008.
Mhm.
So that's about as many random players or games that I can remember. That's about it. And then I have a weird gap where I was in college from 2015 to 2016 where I just don't remember those games, but
Oh yeah, yeah.
um
Going to college, I definitely appreciated the finer things of lower division football, and it helped me appreciate more of the higher divisions of football. Because man, the NFL, like after watching college all day Sunday, and then the NFL comes back, and the speed of the game is insane. Which we'll touch on all that crap later.
yeah, but that brings us back. College football comes in hot and heavy. Some big games, some fun games. One I wanted to start off first was Texas versus Michigan.
Oh yeah,
I I don't know what these people were thinking that Michigan had a chance against Texas, but what were you thinking? Because
I have
Michigan
no
did
idea.
not stand a chance.
I mean, I think I was stated as being pretty tentative on Quinn Ewers stock to begin with, but um, I was even less in on Michigan, obviously. And he had a fantastic game. And yeah, I mean, Michigan, you could just really tell the glaring issue of them not having a QB, which is wild because like it doesn't feel like JJ McCarthy was a highlight of their offense to begin with. Like he went to the Vikings and people, what was there? The storylines of like, were they hiding JJ McCarthy? And you're like, I
Yeah, seriously. Donovan Edwards out of the backfield had a few good runs, but that defense, that offensive line, which by the way, all of them almost new starters, is a whole brand new offensive line, and some of them starting this is like their second game, so they're not able
Mhm.
to protect that kid. Uh, his name. So I saw on Twitter some guy put that meme where it's like Bill is the worst quarterback ever, and he was like, let me look up his name real quick. Give me a sec. Oh yeah, here it is. Davis Warren's arm,
Davis
Davis
Warren, yeah.
Warren's legs, Davis Warren's hand size, Dave Warren's underwear, like everything.
Because yeah, he had what, 2 TDs that game, and he had a TD last week against Fresno. Would you say that was just like just the O line just being not good, or was he just rushed?
I can't really remember off the top of my head, but I think the offensive line is a very, very, very big.
I
They
mean,
were
they only
talking
had
about it
yeah,
during
they
the
had 82
game.
rushing yards for the game, so it must have been. It seems like it must have been a big issue.
Yeah, no, I think Texas handled them pretty well, and it was not a contest at all.
Where do you buy
Another
them
quick
for SEC championship stock, Texas? Where are you putting them? Are they all racing up to 2? Are you putting them slotting them above like an Alabama? Are you still waiting yet to be determined?
I think there's still a lot to be seen, but I think it's pretty fair to definitely put them as a contender. Well, technically, South Carolina is leading the SEC because they beat Kentucky. So, but
It's wide open.
yeah, exactly. Um, but yeah, Texas has a few cupcake games. They have UTSA,
Oh yeah.
uh, Louisiana Monroe, Mississippi State, and then the Red River rivalry, which I think they'll be able to handle Oklahoma pretty well. And then Georgia will be the true test of probably who takes the top.
Oh yeah, that's going to be a
So
huge game. I will be
yeah, I make
fully seated.
sure
Fully seated.
my schedule will be cleared.
You kind of wish they played Mizzou.
Oh, Mizzou, that could be a
Yeah.
good game too. Old Big
I mean,
12 matchup.
that's how. Yeah. Ah, whatever. Continue on.
Moving on, we had Pitt versus Cincy. I only watched this game because I had money on it, and Pitt backdoored and won the game, so that was pretty great.
Oh really? Yeah, I didn't see any of that one. That's not the
Yeah,
that's
it
not the brand
was.
of Ohio football that I enjoy. It's too high up there.
Apparently, that's a rivalry. I didn't know that. But yeah,
Oh.
no, I'm sure. I'm not sure. Didn't. Yeah, not too much to talk about there. And then Kansas State versus Tulane. Tulane looked like they were going to pull it out, and then Kansas State just hunkered down with the read option and just closed out that game in fashion.
Oh yeah, another plus money snag for Tulane though.
Yeah, they had some they choked it so hard. That QB was rolling out of the pocket and getting pressured, and then he got sacked from behind and fumbled in for a touchdown, and then 34-27, and that was all she wrote.
Oh, do you know? Is he a what an underclassman?
That's a good question. I should look that up. What is
I might be
Tulane
able
in
to
the
get there.
American Athletic? Oh, they
But
are indeed.
mhm.
He is he is a freshman. Yeah, he was a redshirt or he's a freshman, so
Okay,
yeah, but he was
some early
balling
jitters.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they've been fun to, I mean, like obviously they blew out Southeast Louisiana 52-0, but they've been fun to look to. I mean, I'll continue to check them out. It's also just an absolutely insane logo design. It's cream of the crop, top of the
the
wave.
green wave, the green wave. No, but Kansas State, I'm concerned that Avery Johnson and the running back they have, DJ Gideons, are gonna run the yard next week. But we'll get onto that later. Moving on, we're gonna go to Oklahoma State, Arkansas.
Oh yeah, that was a game.
Arkansas, Sam Pittman, the head coach, choked on yet another game that they had won and sealed in overtime.
Oh my.
Double
Yeah,
overtime to be exact.
I was seeing that one tick across the bottom of the score, and I was really just wanting to see Arkansas do more than just having a rock fight.
Yeah, no, they Oklahoma State just started pounding the ball on the ground with Ollie Gordon and was able to finally pull out a win when they really shouldn't have, but Arkansas just choked completely really bad.
Oh
But
man,
yeah, but I know a game that you're itching to talk about,
is it
and
Oregon?
that no, that's another one of those, but Notre Dame versus Northern Illinois.
Absolutely, the action, the season. It's so in.
Let it rip, Josh. Since talk
Oh
about this
yeah,
Notre
I
Dame
mean,
defense and offense.
it is a game that was with three missed field goals. Absolutely a highlight. One late by Notre Dame, which was obviously a game sealer by NIU, and it was just slop. And I I unfortunately did have Notre Dame to cover, and that was blown within the first 3 minutes of the game. And yeah, 9 punts, 4 by NIU, 5 by Notre Dame. A turnover on downs by NIU late, like just an absolute classic college football. A David versus Goliath. Yeah, I mean, I remember. I mean, I messaged. I was like, "Live by the Riley Leonard, right? Live by the Riley Leonard, die by the Riley Leonard," because man, he was doing a lot and almost to his own detriment. Like it sometimes I feel like it works out for him. It's like especially in the big game that they played last week that I'm literally blanking on. Um, but not this week.
No, I think Marcus Freeman is seats pretty hot, and the way they need to redo that offense, I heard one of the commentary or post game guys saying, "I don't know why you guys don't run the ball, do the read option with him, and then have a play action to open the field out for him because he's not a true passer."
No, and I wonder if a lot of that's just a young O line.
Yeah, I'm not sure how old that or young that Notre Dame offensive line is, but I can't imagine as good as recent years.
Oh yeah, yeah. But yeah, the Husky I have right here. The Huskies were 28 and a half point underdog. If anyone was curious what that spread was. And yeah, since 1978, Notre Dame was 51-1 as a favorite of at least 51 points entering Saturday. So yeah, that and it's NIU's first top 10 victory. So an absolute cementer for a program that in the MAC will absolutely try to be rattling some power structures that are already existing. Because I'm pretty sure last year they were pretty meh.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then moving, I want to touch on another game. Clemson, Appalachian State. Yeah, I remember when I was talking
Woo.
about, oh yeah, Appalachian State could show some moxie and maybe make the, but
Mhm.
no. No, they got 35 points dropped on them in the first quarter. And guess who had App State money line and the spread? Me.
Oh man, Davo was not letting 3 weeks in a row, 3 weeks in a row, slide away from him. Yeah, a big response for them. I mean, it was absolutely needed.
It's like that meme when your team gets blown out, but then you're like run up the score like 100-0 on on the video game. You're like, that was Dabo to Appalachian State this weekend.
Just hear the Xbox boot on, and just bloop.
Exactly.
Oh man,
And then lastly, Nebraska crushes Colorado. Crushes.
absolutely crushed. And I am absolutely not a Matt Rule stock buyer at all. But yeah, he's got that program working in the right direction. That quarterback he's exciting to watch.
Dylan Royola was pretty electric. They had some crazy down the field passes. They had one bobbled in for a touchdown. That was hilarious.
Oh yeah, the one that went off that quarterback's hands, and it was like, okay,
Yeah. And yeah,
that for
just
me, my thought was like, did I just say that? I'm just like, man, when it rains, it pours. That was the epitomization of that,
Luke Combs intensifies in the background.
literally.
But yeah, Shadur had no time to throw in the pocket, and he was just getting demolished.
I didn't see when he got removed. Was that like what, middle of the third? Because all of
Oh,
a sudden
I
I like
turned it
looked away,
off.
and I oh, you did. I looked away, and then I looked back, and I'm just like, oh, that's not Shador. I'm like, what is? I'm like, yeah. Find something else. Waiting around for Arizona at that point.
Oregon barely pulls out against Boise State Broncos.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, I think the deciding factor for Oregon's success later on in the future is their O line. The biggest thing was that Boise State was just in the backfield. They were bringing the house. They were finding those exotic. They were showing exotic looks. They were making it really uncomfortable for Dylan Gabriel the whole night. He had one fumble. He was sacked 4 times, and Boise State's quarterback was only sacked once. So that's a pretty good. That's a pretty good script to keep yourself in the game. But yeah, I mean, big plays. Obviously, Oregon. If it's a big play, it's money. If it's not, like, and they're a negative like game script, they just kind of get stuck. They get bogged. And yeah, I think that's a big deciding factor, is just making sure that they could stay in that positive like game script. I don't think you can do that though if you can't run the ball.
No, I can imagine. I'm sure they're throwing their tunnel screens, but is the secret to beat Oregon just to have those exotic blitz packages?
It might even just be blitzes, because they'll beat you. I mean, they'll gash you. Like, but if you're Ohio State and you can also get a big play on demand similar to them, yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to see, because I know that this is kind of a down year for Ohio State pass rushers. I mean, you don't really have the big name. I know you have the one guy returning from last year, but he kind of petered out later in the season. So yeah, I mean,
Oh,
Ashton Genty continues to be a stud though. 25 carries, 192 yards, 3 TDs. I have a factor of force and equalizer right here, because I mean, if that guy's playing, you're in the game.
yeah, Ashton Genty, what a dog that guy. Yeah, he could be right. He could be the Heisman. You don't know.
They're pushing the campaign. They were talking about how Boise State's carrying around DVDs for all the reporters and all the all the like TV like personnel and stuff like that. So yeah, they're giving they're giving highlight packages out. I want to get my hands on one of those.
Just
Maybe when
start
they come to
sending
UNO,
them.
we'll apply. I'll apply for sideline. What is it? The like reporter pass for when they play UNLV. I'll sneak around. I'll try to get me one of them discs.
Hey, would you be the Connor Stallions for Boise State?
Oh, what? I mean, I'll give somebody my number.
Are you gonna disguise yourself in Oregon green?
Oh
And be
yeah.
on the sideline?
I mean, I'll become Puddles. I'm not afraid.
Or you'll become Puddle. Puddles doesn't look like he's able to do a lot of push-ups. He looks like he's more interested in tapping into the game.
He's just doing the same dance move. What's wrong with him? They're like scoring.
Puddles.
They're up 14-0, and I'm just like, no, please.
Why is Puddles in the hot dog line?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, very valiant effort. Unfortunately, this is Boise State's first loss against Oregon.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But hey, only a
Uh,
7 point loss, so you can't really count it. Can you? They covered. I
uh,
guess you can't count as a loss.
oh yeah, it was a lock. I know that everybody in our college pick'em had the plus money on it.
Yeah, yeah, that's probably I don't know who I picked. I probably didn't pick Boise State.
Yeah, that's all
But
like.
that'll transition us to our school, our game, Arizona versus NAU, as if anybody watched, but I'm sure if anybody does know, they'll pile on us saying how we were all hyped about Arizona and we stink, so I'll let everybody have it. But yeah, I'm concerned.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of miscues in the first half. I mean, I don't even know what the offensive game plan was because it certainly wasn't designed around getting McMillan the ball, and if it was just Noah was rushed, and yeah, I don't know. There was a lot of grossness in the first half.
Yeah, T Mac didn't look like himself. And Dino Babers, can you please scheme some receivers open? Is that possible? Can we do that? Hmm?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, but it seems like a coaching staff that can just make adjustments. But if the initial game plan is bad, they can't figure out on the fly to do whatever. I don't know. I don't know if it's just continuously breaking down into um, end of game script kind of stuff. Who's open, scramble drill. There we go. That's the word. But not too. Yeah, it wasn't too
Yeah.
hot of a stocked game. I mean, I will be nervous to see them next week against Kansas State. That'll be what our first Big 12 game.
Yes, that'll be our first Big 12 game, the first
Sound
real
the
matchup.
horns.
And I could not be any more afraid because that read option with Avery Johnson, they are probably going to just gash us.
Yeah, yeah. If we can keep up in the first half, that's ideal. And then if they continue to make adjustments, that's cool. But that's not really a way to continue to win football games. That's a way to just live by the skin of your teeth, and that is stressful to watch, especially on Saturday when it's the end of the night. I'm fully reclined.
Well, this will be a Fox big night Friday night game.
Friday night game.
And last week it was the defense that stunk out loud, and this week it was the offense that stunk out loud.
Yep.
So, not sure who's going to show up next week. Maybe nobody, and we just get absolutely destroyed 41-7. Who knows?
Yeah.
But
Hopefully not.
but we hold the longest college football win streak
Mm-hmm.
in the
Mm-hmm.
nation. So
Yep.
put that feather in my cap.
Thought that day would never come, especially when we
Yeah, I
went
was
there.
Yeah, it wasn't only 3 years ago when we were 1-11 and lost like 20 games in a row.
Yeah, got blown out like 60 points to those scum devils. Ugh.
Yeah, Kevin Sumlin, you drunk bastard.
Yeah,
But
no allegations there.
yeah,
That was
no, 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 no.
confirmed.
Yeah, no, that's 1,000% confirmed.
Uh,
One of my friends said he had a brother who worked in the ticket office, and he said he would just reek of alcohol coming in.
oh no.
Heard his drink of choice was Hennessy, but that's neither here nor there.
No, that's hearsay.
But that'll wrap up college football. If we didn't get to a game that we saw, we probably didn't watch it. So apologies. And then moving on to the pro football,
Uh-huh.
NFL week 1. Absolutely insane. We had Thursday night, the Chiefs versus the Ravens. Josh,
Mm-hmm.
let me hear it.
AFC hierarchy game. I mean, it was sloppy. It was messy. It was gross. But not as gross as the game that came on Friday, but we'll get there. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it seemed like if you're Lamar Jackson and you're the guy, you got to be the guy. I mean, there was a lot of weird drops. Isaiah Likely was unfortunately born with sizes two sizes too big of a foot. Um, and yeah, it was. I mean, it was a fun game. I think there is a lot of stuff that we learned about the Chiefs offense in particular, because I think they're still going to be the number one offense in the AFC. Xavier Worthy looked exciting. He was fun. He was terrifying. Why did they let Andy Reid continue to draft the fastest people on the earth? It's just Someone's got to stop it.
Yeah, the refs really control that game, looking just throwing every
Yeah. Oh yeah.
illegal formation
That was
after and
gross.
over. Yeah,
And
that
they
I
must have,
was
and they clearly must have told the refs for like this weekend, like you gotta stop because it was so gross.
dude, I wanted to stop watching the game. I was like, I can't watch this. This is similar to watching the NBA where they have to review a play for like 5 minutes and just destroy the game flow.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And but yeah, the Chiefs looked like the Chiefs. Probably offense is way better. And the Ravens, that Ravens O line did Lamar no favors, and Lamar said to Derrick Henry, "I'm the running back now."
Oh yeah. It was like we're going scramble drill. Yeah.
Yeah, he racked up 100 yards, tried to carry that Ravens offense, but it wasn't enough. But Isaiah Likely might be his new favorite target. We've seen him over the years progressively get more looks like, hey, he's pretty good. And I think this is his really coming out game, and Mark Andrews might not be the number one target.
Oh yeah, I know the people that were on Fantasy Stock Watch for Mark Andrews absolutely wanted to make their phone a wall ornament because it was an infuriating game for them. I was not one of those people, thankfully, but yeah, no, that was tough. But you're like, hey, if Isaiah Likely's there on your waiver wire, you should probably make a move.
Oh, I'm sure if you have the number one waiver wire position or if you're free agency cash, yeah, you're gonna be shelling out, and I probably might have to
Ooh,
do that.
maybe
We shall see. And then moving on to Friday night's football game in Brazil, the Eagles versus the Packers. Mr.
Kaka,
Eagle over
go
here
birds, fly Eagles fly,
is
never a doubt.
Is Jalen Carter the dirtiest player in the NFL?
I mean, come on. I mean, even Chris Long he was chiming in about it because he's talking about how when you're down there, you're just you're scrawling, clutching, you're scrawling, clawing and scratching. There we go. For everything you can just to try to get that quarterback on the ground for those big game situations. But I mean, it's not like he was gator rolling or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, I would really chalk that up to. I mean, I hope that Jordan Love is only out for a couple of weeks because he's a pretty fun guy to watch. But he was really having to hang in that pocket for an uncomfortable amount of time during that game, and I don't know if that is just like a lot of the talk I heard at the beginning of that game was that the like sum of all the parts of the Packers wide receivers were equal to or greater than whatever the Eagles had, and that was clearly like I mean outside of Romeo Dobbs, right? He had a fantastic game. Watson was here and there. He was big in moments at times, but yeah, it really seemed like Love had to hold the ball longer than Hurts did when Hurts was just if they was there, he would take it, or he would just roll out and throw it away, or make an atrocious run that really was kind of not fun to watch. But yeah, not stellar performances by either quarterback. Honestly, definitely preseason reps could have been there for either teams.
You think they could have game planned to play on that field?
I mean, they lost the Super Bowl on a field like that, so not to bring that up, that was
You
serious. That
think
was
they only
flashbacks the
won
whole
this
time.
game? Do you think
I
they
was
only won this game because they had the knowledge from a few years ago to play on a turf like that?
no, they definitely won that game because the Green Bay backup quarterback might be the worst quarterback, except for Daniel Jones, who we'll get to later.
Well, not starting quarterback, backup. I mean, you guess you
Yeah,
could call oh, Malik Willis, he's on the Green Bay Packers now?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. He rolled out and he
that's
got knocked over, but yeah, I mean, I said beforehand I thought that Packers defense was probably going to be the worst of the units that was going to be on that field. And when it's slippery conditions and you're the defense, you don't know what the game plan. I mean, you know what your game plan is. You know what the offense game plan is. You're obviously reacting. That's the name of the game. And yeah, when you're on slippery conditions, that is no fun for either team. But yeah, in certain spots, Eagles cornerbacks made really good plays. Obviously, there was some great interceptions by Green Bay cornerbacks, but if AJ Brown and Devontae Smith got the ball in play, they were breaking tackles and running up the field for first downs. So yeah, unless they got the ball down, it was kind of a feast or famine there for that secondary.
yeah. I feel that if this was played in either Lambeau or Lincoln Financial, I feel the Eagles would have handily won that game by more.
Yeah. I mean, I think, yeah, they're outside of literally Jalen Hurts almost trying to lose the game at the beginning, at the very beginning. But when, yeah, all things considered, when it came back to the Eagles having what being on their third drive and they were down 6-0, I was just like, woo, gee, let's take a deep breath. All things considered, we're not in the worst of places. So yeah, that red zone defense for the Eagles was certainly being fierce. They were playing on their toes.
Maybe maybe Saquon just forgot how big his thighs were and tripped on that 5 yard loss, and then Jalen Hurts thought you guys were wearing different
Oh yeah.
jerseys on the first throw.
Oh yeah, I've omitted him a bit, and that's by design. Well, when we get to bench for play, I mean, it's probably the first week that I'll be playing someone, which is exciting because I thought back and I was like, I don't think I've ever played anyone. I think it's just been a lot of benching, but I mean, it's kind of a play and a bench because Saquon.
And now we'll definitely transition into Vikings versus the Giants. Derp, 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 the
Oh
Daniel
yeah,
Jones.
if I had solo played the like alternate spread that I took for this game because I took the Vikings like -6.5 in a parlay for an alt spread, and it was like plus 400. And I was like, I mean, this will be great if it happens. And woo, man, I should have took that one solo because I would have been pretty happy camper today.
Yeah, God, I'm mad. I think we're both happy to see that the Giants fans are miserable having to watch this guy play quarterback for them because they
Oh yeah.
stink.
Oh yeah. Cause and effect. You did not pay for Saquon Barkley, and now the effect is Daniel Jones.
You think they're going to draft a new quarterback coming this coming draft? I mean, we predicted them to win no more than 4 games, and I feel like they're going to be able to have that draft capital to get the new quarterback.
I mean, the current GM didn't hire Dayball, right?
I well, the current GM didn't draft Daniel Jones, that's for sure. But
Yeah.
Dayball might. I feel that
I
wasn't
mean,
it
for
Pat
self,
Schumer that was
it's got to
coaching the
be.
Giants before?
I have no idea, but I mean, just for self-preservation mode, if you're that GM, you're like, yeah, the coach is the problem. We're going to get him out here. We're going to draft some good guys. We're going to get a nice quarterback in here, and we're going to turn the ship around. And everybody's going to continue to laugh at the Giants being the Giants because the Giants. Woo!
Yeah, Daniel Jones threw a beautiful pick six on his own 5 yard line.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that guy sucks. But
yeah.
Sam
And I
Darnold,
mean, he showed out. Which again, the Giants are are in a competition with the Panthers for the #1 overall pick. Like we stated that beforehand, and I think we can pretty much we could pretty much say that that's probably safe to continue on with that trend. But yeah, having Justin Jefferson there certainly helps. But kind of a quiet game for him. A TD certainly helps if you're a fantasy guy, but pretty quiet.
yeah, Sam Darnold was just I think it was 14 of 14, and then finally threw his first incompletion of that game.
Wow.
Uh, I would like to mention that I did say Darnold will give you about 2 to 4 good games, and the rest will not be good. And you also played the Giants, so
Yeah, because I think
uh,
we talked about how somebody has to win that game when we were doing our beginning ones. Because yeah, now they play San Francisco next week. So San Francisco, Houston, Green Bay, Jets. Yeah. So Sam Darnold, enjoy your week 1. Hard fought.
yeah, Viking fans take enjoy this because yeah, dude, they have the San Francisco, Houston, maybe a Jordan Loveless Green Bay team, the Jets, Detroit. I mean that does not
Hmm.
sound fun.
Yeah. I mean, depending on what happens with Green Bay, it's very that division is going to be something to watch, especially in these first 4 weeks. It might just be Jordan Love comes back and Green Bay fights out of the hole that whatever they were in, but whew,
And then we're transitioning to the Saints versus the Panthers, and Dennis Allen surely trying to make himself look good as possible because they're probably going to win 6 games the rest of the season.
oh yeah, yeah. Who who will survive? Derek Carr. Yeah, Derek Carr. He had a fun game. He definitely wasn't. Listen, when Derek Carr sees a bad defense, Derek Carr is gonna feast on a bad defense. That few things are eternal in football that remain, but that is one of them.
Yeah, no, he'll definitely come back to reality because they also have a tough schedule and they'll be playing Dallas, Philly,
Hmm.
Atlanta, which we'll get to later, Kansas City, Tampa. Yeah, no, they're
Atlanta. Yeah, they're gonna. Whew, that's gonna be a. Yeah, that's. I mean, again, it's so annoying that this division is eternally here as being kind of just not great, and they continue the continuation of just like the NFC East. But that narrative should end. But I also am pro divisions. I don't want an NFL NBA style, um, like top teams go, because I think that just you got to have matchups, you got to have storylines, you got to have rivalries, passion. Woo!
yeah, just pretty much be 8-8 and win the NFC South.
Yep, and you'll be in. Maybe a team will have a
Uh
collapse like my Eagles did last year.
I will refrain from piling on. uh moving over to Dolphins Jaguars. Tyreek Hill gets arrested or detained.
We almost certainly, he was just like, I got a game. I'm going to be late for my game.
Yeah, I don't. I
Oh,
heard a traffic violation.
something like that.
Yeah, the Tyreek Hill gets arrested and then does a handcuff celebration after scoring 80 yards.
Yeah, and this was a game where it was pretty clear that the Dolphins. I mean, if you're a high flying offense like that, you certainly probably need as many reps as you can get pre-hand. And yeah, they certainly worked through it all in their own. And uh, I think it ended in a confident way for the Dolphins. But I mean, it's hard to tell. That defense. I mean, they certainly tightened up in the second half, but yeah, what will happen when it gets cold? That's always the Dolphins Dolphins downfall.
Is Doug Peterson and blowing leads pretty synonymous, would you say?
I don't think so with the Eagles. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to look. But yeah, I would.
But
Yeah.
yeah, the Dolphins
I,
didn't look like they knew how to play football to start out that first half and then just exploded both Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill and A-Chain as well. And then
mhm.
Trevor Lawrence. Dude, Trevor Etienne fumbled a walk-in
Oh
touchdown.
my God. Yeah. Yeah, no, that was terrible. It was a game of self-inflicted wounds for the Jaguars. And like Trevor Lawrence, like he really out of all the quarterbacks, like if you ranked them at my like skate by, if they're just skating by, Trevor Lawrence, he's kind of up there. Like he box score never really looks great on the product, like on the field, it looks pretty good. And then sometimes there's like, oh, that looked really bad. Um, which maybe he's just handsome, long-haired Carson Wentz.
That's an insult. Yeah, this dude is from being talked up for being the next messiah at quarterback to being the most average, like top 20 quarterback you can possibly have.
Yeah, I mean, he might as well just be there for the free trips to London at this point.
Uh, moving on from Trevor Lawrence and his long-haired look like Carson Wentz. Texans at Colts, probably the best game of the day so far.
Oh, the best game, I would say in the morning. Yeah.
Yeah, without question. CJ Stroud, Joe Mixon being an absolute bell cow.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Richardson put up a good fight.
Joe
Passing
Mixon had a
completion.
fantastic game.
Yeah, no, Joe, dude, 30 carries. I mean,
Yeah, man. Anthony Richardson's got those. He's got that completion percentage similar to me playing college football 25 with my character, man. Whoo.
dude, that 130 out of Alex Pierce, he just didn't have his feet set. It was all upper torso, just moonball, and it was
Yeah,
so sick.
it was insane. It was like again, like you could talk how much of you can't see anything from Anthony Richardson, and then he does something like that, and you're just like, okay, all right, well, maybe we'll keep the Colts in the quad box more often.
Yeah, the Colts put up a very good fight. Anthony Richardson looked really good, had a late scoring touchdown, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the Texans are going to be a team you don't want to mess with. Uh, yeah, we'll
No,
see how that goes.
yeah, CJ Stroud he looked pretty good. He looked really good.
And then following that, Cincinnati versus New England. I hope Joe Burrow shaves his head. What if dude, oh my god, he just
Yeah. The one cut to him on the side, like at like maybe the fourth quarter or whatever, where the score is just abysmal. Like it literally looks like an absolute. It just looks like a Steelers game. I'm just not gonna lie. Which I mean, most of the Patriots games now, Patriots and Steelers, simpatico. But absolutely, the cut to him over there with his blonde hair, I was just like, yeah, you got to shave it, you got to cut it, you got to change something. I mean, but also part of it is like if you're the Bengals, like what do you expect? Like you're fighting with your number one wide receiver. He hasn't practiced. The quarterback coming off injury. Like I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. I can't believe you played down to a Jacoby Brissett New England Patriots led team. I don't know how you
Oh,
played down to
hey,
them.
I will not allow
I
Jacoby
was
Brissett slander.
just the absolute biggest trap bet you could possibly. I'll raise my hand. I was part of that absolute trap bet.
I mean, I had him in
I
my pick 'em, obviously. I mean, my mom will be happy. She's a Patriots fan. So
Yeah, Joe Burrow, shave your head. That was just I don't even know what that was. It doesn't even deserve to be talked about.
Ramondre Stevenson, something there. Check in later.
Yeah, that'll be remain to be seen. I mean, he got 25 carries, absolute bell cow. I wish I would have drafted him, but I didn't think it'd be like this. I didn't think it'd be like this kind of turnout, but
I definitely benched him in favor of somebody, and I don't remember who it was, but it was not the right decision.
no. And then Chicago versus Tennessee.
Oh my god, the most insane game that you could imagine taking place to place, right? Just it was there. What the offense did nothing. Caleb Williams looked like a deer in the headlights, which I guess you can expect. I mean, he ran kind of well. He had some escapability, but he didn't run the best. But yeah, that was an absurd game. Yeah,
When
what do
will
we
there
have here
be
then?
when will there
Touchdown from a
be
punt
your
block. Will Levis interception. Yeah, I send you the picture of Will Levis on his knees, like with his hands up to the sky. We'll have to put that in because that's insane. Yeah, field goal Bears, field goal again. At least they got a kicker.
Yeah, they got a kicker all right. But I mean, when will there be a year where I don't draft Bears players to my fantasy team because their offense every single dang season is just so bad? Like, come
I know.
on.
And like, oh, DJ Moore is so fun.
It's just,
And
yeah,
then
that Bears
Keenan
offense put up
Keenan
0
Allen.
points.
Yeah, nothing.
That's insane. Yeah, let me go through each of their plays. Carlos Santos, or excuse me, Tyreek's pick. Oh wait, why is this all messed up? Oh, excuse me. Yeah, Carlos Santos, 24-yard field goal. And then Chicago blocked an attempt, returned it for a touchdown. Simone Biles' husband alert.
Bing.
Carlos
Power
Santos,
couple.
50-yard field goal. Carlos Santos, 48-yard field goal, and then another pick six. Yeah,
Yep.
dude, this is some 2005 Bears to the Super Bowl, like Brian Urlacher, Lance Briggs,
Oh yeah.
with
An
Rex
absolute
Grossman at quarterback.
oh my god. It was that's sometimes it's why you watch NFL games to just see some absolute slop. And sometimes it's fun slop. Because who would have thought the
That
Titans would be exciting to watch against the Bears? Because I was not outside of just I had the Bears money line because I just wanted to get freaky with it.
I for one did take Tennessee, but in a teaser like a coward, but it didn't matter because whatever, it lost. They looked really good. Tony Pollard had that good breakout run of 20 yards for a touchdown. I
Oh
thought
yeah.
Will Levis was competent. Their defense looked great. Caleb Williams didn't know really what to do. He actually preseason fool's gold once again.
Oh yeah. I mean the game was looking fast for him.
Oh my God. He got sacked twice through 92 yards. Jaden Daniels might be winning the better quarterback situation.
Yeah, Caleb was rocketing balls. I was like, guy, you gotta like chill the heartbeat.
I really want to make that joke I said in the Twitter group chat, but I'll remain from doing that. Um, yeah, he was definitely not settled in. Definitely needs to relax, take a chill pill, maybe
Mhm.
they figures it out later during the season and
And what
settles
a,
the nerves.
especially with that division being what it is right now. Yeah, that's a big early victory to have, especially when you can escape with your quarterback looking like that, which is great for Caleb Williams' confidence because yeah, we love to see supporting characters, which if only Jake Daniels had a defense.
Yeah, we'll get to that later. I certainly will. Bills versus the Cardinals. It looked like the Cardinals were just going to run away with it, but then Josh Allen went demon mode to quote Jake Snyder
Yeah,
and
we
carry
had
them.
we had like the early beginnings of literally like a Josh Allen destructoid game. Like he was so ready. He was so ready to go nuclear, and then Kyler Murray just kind of, I don't know, toddler with a knife in the backfield. Every time I see it.
Um, yeah, I mean, two rushing touchdown, two passing touchdowns. He fumbled the ball early in the game, and I thought like the Cardinals are gonna pull it out, and then the Cardinals
Yep, yep. They folded,
folded like a cheap launch there.
folded like those tables that Bills fans were smashing through.
Yeah, plenty of those were smashed. Quite upsetting. Marvin Harrison Jr. had one reception for 4 yards.
Yeah, and there was a highlight of him being wide open in the backfield when they desperately needed a touchdown to continue that game, and Kyler Murray did not see him, and that's not fun to take in. And that was always like that was always kind of my problem. Which again, I took Kyler Murray in a lot of fantasy leagues, so I'm playing both sides. Like that's exactly what's going on here. I'm a Kyler Murray truther. I'm a Kyler Murray denier all at the same time.
Wherever he go, we may know.
I reserve the
Hopefully.
right to criticize.
Exactly.
As I
But
sit
that
here
was
in the
definitely
dark.
definitely a fun game to watch. Not so fun game to watch. Pittsburgh versus Atlanta.
I was ready to burn everything Kirk Cousins. I mean, like, brother, did you not know you weren't playing in prime time?
Yeah, Kirk really thought he was playing on Monday night or Sunday night, as I would know for quite some time, being a fan of Washington. But yeah, dude, he sucked so damn bad. It was so pathetic.
And like Justin Fields I he was doing his darndest.
To
He
lose the game.
I mean, like he is so. It's exactly what we were talking about in preseason, where if it's out of script, like you don't know what you're gonna get, but it worked out this time. Boswell 6 for 6 on field goals. Absolutely give that guy the game ball.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, imagine he scored touchdowns on field goals. It's such a good point. Like,
Yeah, it was atrocious. And I guess we can work it in here that Jake was saying that he was taking all the point overs for the kickers parlayed because he's like it's sloppy football, and it's like yeah,
yeah, Jake.
there was some slop.
Yeah, they've. I mean, I can't imagine paying Kirk Cousins all that money, and everybody thought this was gonna be the offense, just turbo offense. Kirk Cousins had so many weapons, and it just stunk
Yeah,
on ice.
I mean you're the GM. You pay Kirk Cousins and then you draft Penix, and so like now what do? You've created your own issue, right? Like if he falters at all, you already have the ripcord to just immediately have your fan base start just ridiculing you, booing in the stadium, start chanting somebody else's name. Oh, Atlanta,
Uh,
it's gonna be hot, hot Atlanta, maybe.
I'm gonna put up this meme, but this is Atlanta Falcon fans cur- currently.
Yep. Like I didn't check that.
I might make that a meme. I'm totally gonna make that a meme. But yeah, probably really Steelers defense pinned their ear back when just making Kirk's Cousins life hell. TJ Watt, if it weren't for the penalties by the Steelers defense, he would have just insane game by him.
Oh
Stat
yeah,
line he
they
could have
they
put up.
continue. Oh, and especially for Pittsburgh, like they go to Denver, and then they play the Chargers, then they play Indianapolis. So it'll be a good start for Steeler Nation, and then they get hit Dallas. So that'll be a matchup to watch. I'm sure we'll get some reactions from that one.
Yeah, if Pittsburgh's offense could be like any bit of competent, they could have a decent team and a decent record. I'm sure Mike Tomlin will figure it out. Maybe Russell Wilson comes back and takes over QB1, but we
Yeah.
shall
You think
see.
it's better? You think it's worse?
I mean, if you don't put up any points other than kicking field goals, I mean, if you're getting in field goal range, great, but I don't see how that's going to win you games, especially when Chris Boswell's kicking in a dome. You don't play in a dome every
Mm-hmm.
time.
I mean, but I would say Fields moved the ball at least a little bit more competently than Russell did when he was at Denver. So I'm going to go on the record and say it'll get worse when they have Russ in there. Ooh, ooh,
That's Danger Witch for Josh.
ooh, ooh. I'm not afraid.
And then heading into the four o'clock slate games, Seattle versus Denver. Uh, do you have
It.
any thoughts on this game?
I mean, Bo Nix was hot. He had some hot stocks at the very beginning of that game, and then yeah, it kind of just petered out after that. The Seahawks certainly, everybody's got to play until they got punched in the face a bit in that game, and then they kind of settled in and came back. Came back.
Dude, Geno Smith had a sick like 34-yard run for a touchdown. I was surprised he still had that kind of movement.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
he
then
continues to impress. I was not on the plus side of the Geno Smith experience, but yeah, I'm kind of enjoying it now.
Kenneth Walker had a sick like diving touchdown. That was pretty cool. But yeah, bow time in Denver was not the best, but I think they covered at least. Did they at least
Yeah,
cover?
there were two safeties in the second quarter in that game.
They definitely covered if you had 6.5 for Denver. So hey,
Yeah,
great team to bet on.
yeah. Though I mean, yeah, what's his name? Sean Evans. What's his name? Not Sean Evans. The top ones.
Sean Payton?
Sean Payton. There we go. He's good for a backdoor cover.
Yeah, right. I guess you just
they
gotta
play
take
they
Sean
play
Payton.
60 minutes of football. They play 60 minutes of football.
Right.
I know he has that somewhere. It's like the Notre Dame like play like a champion. That should probably be like play for second place or whatever. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, we play 60 minutes.
Following that game, we had the Los Angeles Chargers versus the Las Vegas Raiders, and this was just a defensive, just
Mhm.
this fight.
I watched the first half of this and I said that's enough and I then I turned it off. Um so yeah, the first half was absolutely boring. Um I don't know. The Raiders, they've got to be doing something to be getting a quarterback. I mean that's what it's got to be.
That's literally all they
Jake,
need.
hey, welcome back J.K. Dobbins. That was exciting for him. Congratulations all around. 10 attempts, 135 yards, 61 long with a
Yeah.
TD.
I hope he keeps that up, but I also don't the deep demon inside me because I have Gus Edwards on a lot of fantasy teams and he did not do
Oh
great. But
my.
yeah, JK did great. Jim Harbaugh was just I think with that defense, that Charger defense might be a problem, even though they did play a Gardner Minshew team.
Hmm.
So I think with Joey Bosa looked great, Khalil Mack, they were getting after it. I think this Charger team could be something to mess with if they figure it out and Justin Herbert doesn't absolutely suck. But
Yeah, and I mean if they can again, if you got a run game, it makes everything so much easier.
yeah, that Raiders defense also was very good too. I will give credit. Max Crosby had a sack. They looked that it was a yeah, like I said,
Yeah.
defensive like fist fight.
It got fiery late. These early divisional matchup games are pretty fun, but I kind of don't like them.
Yeah. What makes you say that?
I always like when there's a little bit more refinement to it
That's
later
fair.
because these are important matchups in the NFL, particularly. You have to beat your divisional opponents. So it being week one, I mean, if it's week one, you just make some fun, exciting matchups, which is kind of what they do. Eagles played Green Bay in Brazil, right? Like I'm more in favor of maybe not playing in Brazil, but matchups like that and keeping divisional stuff backloaded because yeah, that's when I love seeing all the stupid math equations for how to get into the stinking playoffs.
Yeah. And then since Jake isn't here, great. Dallas won.
Yeah, congratulations. The Browns lost. Makes me
Uh,
sad. Deshaun Watson might be literally the worst quarterback in existence. Like The guy refuses to throw downfield, which again is I don't think it was really a timing thing outside of just his hesitancy. And it's like, oh, in a year where he's back, he's back, he's back. Yeah, that whole him being the QB of the future for the Browns is going to be some trying times. Oh no.
Yeah, I didn't realize Deshaun Watson threw for freaking 45 passing attempts.
Oh no, he was awful. I mean, yeah, they were in a passing script the whole game because they literally couldn't move the ball. Like they tried to run the ball and it was okay. They abandoned it early, which I don't know why you're abandoning it early when you have Deshaun Watson. Like he just continues to prove that he's not an NFL caliber quarterback anymore. If you're the Browns, you really just have to kind of maybe survive this season and maybe take a flyer on a quarterback in the second or third round next year and hope that you get something under that kind of control and that makes that contract just a little bit more bearable. But sad.
Yeah,
I'm
and
sad.
speaking of contracts, Dak got paid, and
And he's worth it. He's always been worth it. That's always the funniest part about Jerry Jones.
Yeah, he's been really worth it to
Well,
get
yeah.
you to the to lose in the divisional round or wild
To
card.
do what Jerry Jones needs, which is to keep the team relevant so he can make buku bucks.
Yeah, but Dak looked very average this game. Nothing crazy. Uh, the run game, the defense really stood on their head and played great without having Dan Quinn or Joe Witt Jr., which I will get to later.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Cowboys defense is the Cowboys defense, and the Browns put up some late points.
A lot of this whole game was kind of decided almost 15 minutes into the second quarter. Like it was just 15 minutes into the second quarter, 7 minutes into the second quarter, like halfway in, it was pretty clear that the Browns just could not move the ball. And that was the game.
Yeah, Cowboys stink, even though
Yeah.
they won.
Yeah. Cut back into us just going, the Cowboys suck.
Yeah, exactly. And then the last game we have was Washington versus Tampa. And this was a game for me that was,
We don't have to talk about the
yeah,
score.
oh, yeah, no, there was some good points.
Quarterback?
There was some optimism.
Quarterback?
Other than Jaden Daniels wanting to really injure himself and getting concussions, CTE in his
Yeah,
first game.
he again, they were who were they talking about? Oh, Caleb Williams. They were really talking about how he was like sliding and they were stressing that. You can tell that those same meetings were not had with Jaden Daniels because that guy
This dude doesn't know how to slide. He goes head first into the grass. Like, what are we doing?
which like it almost seems like, and I was so confused. I don't understand what the play calling was going on there because it seemed like Eckler was having like anytime he got the ball, he seemed kind of explosive in receiving, but it didn't seem like they were really handing the ball off to him, which I don't know if that's like a pitch count thing with an injury or whatever, because he's coming off a pretty significant knee injury, right? But I mean, Robinson Jr. looked good.
Yeah, no, he scored. He got a touchdown. Jaden Daniels
Wanted to
got
run
two
it in
touchdowns
twice.
through CTE.
Yeah.
And then Baker Mayfield carved up that defense like a Christmas ham.
Yeah. And it
Mike
is the most
Mike
Browns thing ever that Baker Mayfield looks elite right now. And Deshaun Watson is,
Yeah, imagine trading Baker Mayfield. At the time I was like, why would you trade him? He wasn't that bad. He was hurt. But yeah, Mike
yeah.
Evans made Benjamin St. Juice his bitch. That was wonderful. Chris Godwin had a showing out party. Bucky Irvin, Oregon running back rookie, looked great, and Baker's just it's 80% completion percentage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Uh,
Diced him up. He played exactly how
is
Case Keenum plays against the Eagles.
How does Case Keenum play against the Eagles?
Well, when he was a Commanders quarterback, he would dice him up.
Yeah, he would. And then I remember that game in like 2019 where we came out like 21-0 and then just blew that game.
Yeah, but I was telling Emily, I was like, I feel like the Commanders have the Eagles number more often than they don't, and I was like, man, I was like, I can't wait for this defense to look like a bunch of all pros when it's time to play the Eagles. Divisional football. This is why it matters.
Yeah, seriously. But yeah, so much Dan Quinn and Joe Witt Jr. for being defensive guys. That defense sucks.
Yeah,
Uh,
there's gonna have to be some resource spending there to get that to where it should be.
the run defense looked competent. initially, and then the passing defense, and then just us not having the defense stay on the field and be tired because it was hot. It was like it was 99 degrees, but it was not 99 degrees in old Tampa. So,
Sheesh.
yeah, they definitely got tired. Just chalk it up. Jaden Daniels looked better than Caleb Williams. We lost.
If you make the stock counter right now for where the odds are, oh yeah, most certainly.
I'll go back to my basement. And then lastly, Rams, Lions going on right now. It's tied
Field goals,
3-3.
baby. Jake's continuing on with his trend.
Yes, exactly right. I don't know what's really going on in this game, but oh, David Montgomery running the yard, 35 yards. I'll take that. And then we have Monday night, Jets versus 49ers. What do
Hmm.
you think? How are you prepared for this game?
I'm gonna watch it just just with anger in my heart the whole time.
Because you are a 49er hater while also being an Aaron
Absolutely.
Rodgers hater.
Absolutely. But I don't know. I'm gonna watch it. Somebody's gonna win, and that'll be that. I mean, yeah, I'm interested to see how the Aaron Rodgers experiment continues in New York because the first year obviously was off to a clattering start. There was not much to be told there other than the memes. The memes were great. Um, but yeah, he's back now. Does
How,
Purdy make a step? Does Purdy continue to be Purdy? I don't
over
know.
under snaps Aaron Rodgers plays 3.5 is the line over under.
God, it's probably gonna be. It's just the over. I mean, it's gonna be the over. But in my heart of hearts, would it not be hilarious if the other Achilles just popped at the exact at the two plays in, which would be horrible. We do not wish that. I don't wish injury on people, but I would be lying if I didn't say I haven't laughed at it in my head just a tiny bit.
We're not wishing injuries, but that would doesn't be.
No. But I mean, again, Aaron Rodgers would just continue to do what he's always wanted to do, which is just do drugs in the dark.
Yeah, see, we don't condone drug use on the show. We don't condone ayahuasca on the show.
No. Yeah. But yeah,
Um,
I mean, I am very interested to see what's going on with the 49ers defense because I mean,
yeah,
is
the
it
line.
because they always like, I mean, I feel like they start hot. So like again, I primetime unders, if we're looking at it from like a betting standpoint, I love a primetime under here.
Okay. It's at 43.5. San Francisco's a 3.5 point favorite.
So I think you're still above
Uh,
those key numbers, right? You're 42, right? Or like what is
yeah.
it, 24-17 being a common ending. So
Yeah, I could see it being the under. Both great defenses. We'll lock it in. Bros in the bleachers under Monday Night Football game. I'm just gonna have to take the San Francisco at home. It
yeah.
makes sense.
Hmm. I mean, but also like the whole other thing that's not probably going to be reported with a little bit is that is Aaron Rodgers is it's a homecoming every time he goes back to the Bay Area. So I haven't really looked how he performs when he goes back home, but I would guess probably good because he's an elite quarterback.
I don't know. I honestly I might live that bet that game and just see if Aaron Rodgers is able to run it all. If not, I will go the
Hooks in,
opposite
let it
way.
ride.
Exactly, exactly. But that'll wrap up football. Dude, I don't think we've ever talked that much about football before.
Oh, what a time.
Yeah, what a time to be alive. And then I'm just gonna throw out some fun stuff. Baseball related. Did you see Ludacris with his huge arm throw at the first pitch?
Oh yeah. There was that is such a like a I mean it's probably not that niche of a generation, but yeah, definitely like that YouTube music video generation. Ludacris with those big old arms certainly confused a certain amount of people in that stadium, and that to me is pure comedy.
Right. And then Austin Dillon and Chase Elliott threw out the first pitch for the Braves too. I wonder if Austin Dillon threw his baseball at Chase Elliott's to get there first and maybe elbowed him on the bump.
He probably just fake through it like hidden ball trick as Elliot was going over to high five a guy, just beamed him right in the back.
You're right.
uh,
And then yeah, did you have any baseball stuff? Anything you want to throw out?
I mean, Guardians lost to the Dodgers today. Sad. Glad Jake's not here. We're real glad Jake's not here. Just kidding. We miss him.
I know we do miss him, but yeah, let's have him less often on the show. I'm just kidding.
LA
Nah,
bias.
yeah, ain't that the truth? I love LA. Blech. Uh, we're gonna finally move on to our bench or play. I'm gonna be playing this week. I don't know if you saw this, but it's called the Cosm Dallas viewing experience, and it's pretty much what you think the Sphere in Vegas is, but it's a room for football games. And dude,
Oh,
it looks like you're there.
oh, that's sick.
They had the Michigan versus Texas game, and it was in the big house, and it had the whole stadium. It looked like you were there. I don't know how much it costs, or if that's something I can handle looking at an LED screen.
Oh,
It
I
just
know,
sounds
right? My eyes.
my eyes.
I mean, the
Uh,
next thing I want to see those D box seats like at the movie theaters in there. So it's just the quarterback sacked, and it's just
right. 4D. Imagine if it's like 4D.
oh yeah.
Your chair's
They're like
rumbling.
they're just throwing ketchup on you. They're like, don't worry, it's just supposed to be blood.
Um, and then I'm gonna double play. Not something
Oh,
I don't want to promote anybody's other YouTube channels, but from a football perspective, I thought this was pretty sick. Bill Belichick and John Gruden both started their new YouTube channels, and I'm loving it. It's so cool.
coach, 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 coach.
Let me tell you something here about the Fire Football Coaches Association. We got it here,
Uh,
guy. Jalen Hurts, great quarterback, dynamic quarterback, able to run out.
oh yeah, it's rehearsed. It's good.
Knock on wood if you're with me.
Oh man.
But no, dude, John Gruden's like fired like football coach association, whatever, his like little like
Mhm.
house thing, dude, it's so cool. He has like a full room of like old film. He also has a soundproof room for quarterbacks to come over and practice their cadences like out loud. Isn't that crazy?
That's so weird. I feel like you could just use a local library. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Said hot.
It just seems like an
Um,
unnecessary addition. Like, does it need to be soundproof? Probably not.
but yeah, he was like, you practice like your hand clapping cadence, stuff
Mm.
like that. And then he was just pulling out film from like we can watch Brett Favre's from like 1992. It just seems so sick, and that was my bench and play for the week.
Oh yeah, boy. I mean, yeah, we're gonna continue the trend. We're gonna be playing some more, and I'm gonna be playing Saquon Barkley as the new running back of the Philadelphia Eagles. Obviously, my major play here is New York Tears, and that's primarily what I want to focus on. Um, Saquon Barkley, 24 carries, 109 yards, two rushing TDs, two receptions for 23 yards and a TD. As far as the Eagles front, because obviously I'm a homer. Only the second player in franchise history to debut with three TDs, joining Terrell Owens, who did it in 2004. And then, yeah, the big note here: Giants offense. How many TDs did they have today? Zero. Big old goose egg. So yeah, um, yeah, the big takeaways for me: Kellen Moore designing players open. It's something that I probably since Steichen, which again was not that long ago, but yeah, I haven't seen that in a very long time. I mean, my highlight was from you that Saquon wheel route touchdown where you had AJ and Smitty both clearing out, running post routes across the field, and Saquon just squeaked out over there, and it was a perfect throw, perfect catch, and yeah, something I'm just gonna enjoy watching that for the whole season.
Must be nice.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm the meme with the happy face, but then I'm just like absolutely angry tears, red eyed.
I'm just the guy that's like laughing, getting in the car.
Yeah, no, I wish I could have drafted Saquon on more fantasy football teams. I only have him on one, but it was, yeah, pretty sick.
Yeah, I took him in quite a few. I decided to buy on that, and people were I mean, very much because it was like every first round pick that I think I had. I was mostly in the later picks, so I was like 8, 9, and I would just spring for him every time. Again, I'm a homer.
Yes, you are very much so a homer. I deal with it every day in Twitter with your tweets. Um, but that'll wrap up Venture Play. We're gonna move on to next to our worst or best tweet, and I have a plethora of worst or best tweets, and I will throw them up. Urban Meyer's back. Urban, one of the college game day. We've had Urban Meyer Photoshop as an Oscar Mayer wiener. That was great. The next one we had was Chauncey Gardner Johnson, your boy, who was wearing number 8 to honor Kobe Bryant, and then to absolutely get his ankles broken, and then Kobe just absolutely just not having it.
Oh my gosh. It's a good tweet.
And then Dion brought his luggage, trash bag, Louis Vuitton.
Yeah. I mean, it almost feels like it's getting sad to the point of where it just seems like a venture to make sure his kid gets drafted to the NFL. And then after that, it's just going to be like moving away. But yeah, not a good time in Dion world.
Yeah, so those were my best tweets that I had for the week.
Okay. So I'll roll into my worst best tweets. And it is I didn't hear no bell. My play starts with a P and ends with a Y, and we all love to hear it. It's Philadelphia Eagles running back Saquon Barkley. Again, Giants fans were ready to hate watch Saquon and his debut. And yeah, my worst best tweet. I mean, I'll send it to you here, but yeah, it is where it says a hate watch begun, and then it's one of Stephon Diggs watching the continuation of the Chiefs be a dynasty in his division. And he's watching them fail. It is a Saquon hate watch failed.
I love it.
Oh yeah. I mean, I am here to absolutely absorb the giant tears into my soul. Yeah,
All
New
the
York,
Cam Newton.
Yep.
Yeah, I think if it was probably I remember being in like middle school and high school when the Giants were winning the Super Bowls, and I'm like, God, they're so freaking unbearable. And now you just get to reap it in, reap it in.
I mean, again, it is like I only watch the Eagles, so I'd only watch Eli Manning like really play against the Eagles, and I'm like, how's this guy winning a Super Bowl? He's so bad.
I mean, my favorite season for Eli Manning was 2013 when he threw 26 interceptions.
Oh my god, his just there's I mean, Daniel Jones has like the exact same face structure to have that continue, just like look when he does things that are not good for his own team. And ooh,
I don't know
honored
if this is
tradition.
true or not, but he's dating Kay Adams. Do you know who that is?
No.
She used to be on Good Morning Football, and uh I would say she's somewhat pretty attractive, and how Daniel Jones landed her is insane.
Danny Dimes.
Yeah, yeah, he's getting dimes in that sense and throwing dimes to opposing defensive backs on the field.
Oh yeah.
But that'll wrap up worst or best tweet, and we finally get to our top 5, our Bleacher ranking top 5, our top 3 Super Bowl predictions for this season in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to go first since this was your idea?
Sure. Yeah, I can touch on what I got here. I'm obviously going to get some ones out of the way. We're going to exclude the Eagles because I'm obviously not biased. Clearly, no. Yeah, we're going to exclude the Eagles, and the 49ers because I'm not interested in watching Shanahan fumble another big game. And then the Chiefs because it's tiring. They're a dynasty. We're out of there. So if I'm going to go, I'm going to start here with my third pick, my number 3, the Browns over the Jets. The most historically sad franchises, the most change your destiny matchup I can imagine. You got to do it for Believeland. Defenses win Super Bowls. So yeah, and again, the one highlight here is that we would take the under.
Oh my God, that would be the worst Super Bowl. Maybe watching Deshaun Watson
Oh my God.
get just dragged to a Super Bowl through the defense.
Just try to check down his way into maybe a touchdown or two.
Yeah. My number 3, my Super Bowl prediction would be Miami versus Philadelphia.
Oh.
Now, tell me that wouldn't be a 6 Super Bowl.
that, I mean, as far as like, again, I'll touch on here for some of them, but like the jersey aesthetic there, it's pretty nice. It's pretty good. Those are some like very different colored teams.
I think if Miami wore their throwbacks and as well as the Eagles did wear their throwbacks, I think that would be chef's kiss.
Oh yeah, that is the Madden matchup that like you would just want. You're just like, yeah, we're in the Super Bowl. I'm gonna pick my jerseys, and you're just like, throwback. It's the '80s, whatever. Bring AstroTurf back. Don't bring AstroTurf
God, dude, AstroTurf just
back.
freaking just destroying your Ilias on freaking concrete.
I don't think anybody would survive like a what do we have 18 games now schedule.
Dude, that's pretty funny. Um, what's your number two, Josh?
So my number two would be the Bills over the Falcons. Here again, similar to your matchup, I have the jersey aesthetics would be quite sick. Josh Allen bringing the deserving people of Buffalo a nice championship to keep them warm in the cold winters would be preferred. And obviously, I think the funniest franchise that it would be against, obviously, would be the Falcons. They're the most historic fumble, and I just think it would be comedic.
I would honestly predict that Super Bowl for Atlanta's sake, to be 17-0 in the first quarter, and then Buffalo win 15-17, 52-17.
Oh yeah. I just want to see like Josh Allen just carrying like six defenders on his back, trying to run like 5 yards, stretching.
How many players do you think Josh Allen can carry on his back?
Depends. Are we limiting by position? Because if all things being equal, like two defensive tackles equals like probably one cornerback. So I
I
don't
would
know, four
say
cornerbacks or two defensive tackles.
at least one linebacker, and then the rest are DBs.
Yeah. Well, linebacker's like a 1.5. So
I would say one linebacker, three DBs. Just
oh yeah, just for the fun.
oh yeah. My next pick will be Baltimore versus Detroit for the Super Bowl.
Oh
I feel like that'd be pretty cool. I would want Detroit to win. It'd be the most boring game to watch Detroit, and then you have Lamar carrying that team along with the defense to beat the Lions, but that'd be cool if Detroit won.
oh yeah, oh yeah. I would definitely be a Detroit rooting. I'd be rooting for that one. And then
What's your
that so
what?
does that brings me to
At least
my
you.
number one, which would be, speaking of somebody that you just had win, the Houston Texans over the Lions. We're bringing it full circle, all the way back from history, sports history to now. A young teams finding it about the Lions a little bit less. They kind of are on the more established, like you got to prove something program right now. But yeah, the Houston's taking a big step this year, and a second year quarterback winning a Super Bowl, especially if he's got to defeat Patrick Mahomes on the way there, it would be so fun to see. And there might be some Ohio State bias in here. Who cares? CJ Stroud's really fun, especially the game that we had today where they were just scratching and clawing against that divisional opponent. Man, it gets me excited for playoff football, but it's a long time away. That's why we're looking at early matchups right here, just for fun, just dreaming.
It could be the Texans year. It could be a Texans Super Bowl. I mean, maybe a Texans conference championship this year. That would also be
Mhm.
sick. Maybe they do it. Who knows?
Maybe a
Do
man
we
can
put our
dream.
futures in?
Oh, somebody post the odds. Jake's
um,
slamming the table right now. He's already got like four he wants to talk about. Cowboys.
Yeah, Cowboys versus Houston. Houston wins. um,
Uh,
yeah, and then my number one, Washington versus Carolina Super Bowl. Washington wins. No, I'm just kidding.
oh my god.
um, realistically, I guess Kansas City versus San Francisco to be boring. Run it
Yeah.
back.
Yeah. You're getting the chalk.
Yeah, the I guess not so much rubber match. Kansas
Mhm.
City three peats, and everybody hates their lives, and we see Taylor Swift again for the millionth time.
But at least this time we'll get a Kendrick Lamar Super Bowl halftime show. So
Yeah, that's right. I saw that.
yeah, that was
That should be
announced today,
cool.
right? That's gonna be exciting. I mean, put it in now. Does the NFL let him do not like us?
I don't know. That's tough. That's a tough one.
I don't think so. They didn't let Rihanna do what was it, S&M or whatever.
I'm not sure. You would know more than I would.
Yeah, they definitely did. She played like the little tune a little bit as kind of like oh, and everybody was like, what? And she's just like, no, we can't. She wasn't allowed.
Damn. But not big stonks.
No, no.
But that'll do it for our top 5, and that'll do it for the show. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. Like,
Football.
subscribe. Football's back. Football here. Follow our TikTok. Subscribe to the YouTube. Follow on Spotify. Rate us 5 stars. We really appreciate it. Josh, any final thoughts before we head out for tonight?
I am just so excited to continue to bet on Maction. I have it in here. I'm going to leave this little betting advice here. The Mac is 9-2 right now against the spread as a conference.
Hey, that's a pretty good nugget.
6-5 straight up. So, keep the money lines out. Spreads though, woo.
Wait, let's see. We do not want the Mid-Eastern Atlantic in Delaware State. Here it is. If my internet loads. Damn it. I'll cut this. Where the No, it's not what I want. Mid-American. There we go. Mid-American. Who wins the MAC? Just quick MAC prediction before we head out. Northern
For
Illinois,
me,
Wagon.
No, I'm on Toledo, unfinished business. They lost against Miami of Ohio last year. And yeah, my Rockets, we're continuing on. We're taking the ship this year.
Yeah, that Toledo team was really good last year.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty cool.
It was a great MAC final.
I wouldn't hate it, but that'll wrap up the show. Like, subscribe, Spotify, TikTok, go do it. We appreciate it. And that'll be another episode of Bros and the Bleachers podcast.
Tune in next week for more Cowboys homerism.